Welcome to this Raw review, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to briefly talk about last week's Raw because I was sick. It sucked. Even one of the prominent YouTubers who do wrestling reviews, I believe his name is Daffman or Darfman or Dowman. I am terrible with names. I think you know who I'm talking about. He looked at Raw last week and he was so pissed. He pretty much said, I'm not doing Raw reviews anymore. I'll do NXT, I'll go to Lucha Underground, I will go to TNA, and whatever else. But when it comes to Raw, I'm done. Until they do something different that I get interested in maybe doing reviews on, I'm not doing it. And I saw that review, and I did see Raw. I don't blame him for not wanting to see the product anymore. Because as it stands for this week's Raw, I can understand his disapproval and frustration. There's always little bits and pieces inside of a Raw that you can say is okay. But in general, the show is just not that good. But see my point of view. And I'll say something briefly about how I feel about WWE in general. The opening of the show. New Day. That is one of the things I love about WWE right now. New Day is the main thing that keeps me interested. They're the only ones that make me laugh, that get me caring for the WWE. Because there's not much there. Cesaro's not there right now. So now that he's not there, it makes it even harder to want to watch the product. But currently New Day is the reason for me, one of the reasons why I'm watching. There's several reasons, but one of them is New Day. And working with Sheamus, Sheamus tried to carry that, but he's not really good when it comes to talking, particularly in the beginning monologue of the show. Did I feel that Roman Reigns did a good job? It was not unexpected. It had to happen. That had to happen. It's true. It had to happen. Him trying to knock out Sheamus and take the damn title. He wanted to make a statement to Triple H. And that is when Triple H came to him and said, give me the title, which he did joke around and gave it back to him, and said, now you have a chance because the red hair leprechaun wants to give you a shot at the title, but you only get 5 minutes to mess with him. Here's my problem with that match. It wasn't the fact it wasn't very long. It wasn't the fact that the League of Nations, and I got something to say about that in a minute, had come out. The problem is, after everything is said and done, we still have a match at TLC where Roman Reigns goes up against Sheamus. Why are they giving Roman Reigns one shot on this Raw, saying that if you blow it, you don't get another shot, but then they still give him supposedly the shot, unless I heard incorrectly during the night, where even though he lost that match in the 2-hour main event, or 2-hour event, you want to say it like that, he's still going to get his TLC shot. The people that's supposed to suffer from this is Dean Ambrose, because Dean had an Intercontinental chance, but now he doesn't. And the Usos had their tag chance, but now supposedly the Lucha Dragons and New Day are going to have their TLC moment. But we know that Dean's still going to go up against Kevin Owens, and the Usos are still going to be in the tag belt match. So why did they do this? Unless they changed it. Why? Why would they do this to Roman Reigns and say afterward he still gets his shot, but then you say his partners in crime, which is Dean Ambrose, Jimmy, and Jay, don't? Which we know they will. So they made such terrible continuity throughout the night. Unless I'm wrong, and you guys can tell me below if I heard wrong. Because I am still sick. I've been getting a lot of aches and pains. I've been having terrible pains in my leg. Made me think I tore something in it. But let's move on to the next segment. I know I can talk about the tag match. I'm doing that during the end. Miz TV with Lana, Rusev, and Ryback, of all people. I can understand if this was about Dolph Ziggler coming in here and saying, girl, you know you went all the way with me. We went all the way. And Summer coming out with Tyler Breeze, and Dolph and Tyler Breeze don't fight one another, But Tyler's standing in the back and he says, all right, baby, say what your piece is. And both they come down and say, you know what? We were the best you damn people ever had. That would have made more sense. Even though this entire storyline was shit because Lana was not there. That's what this all comes down to. People wanted Lana. People want to come to Lana. I'm sorry talking so graphically in a man's position, or woman's for that matter. Doesn't matter what sex you are. If you believe she's that alluring, sexy, and you want to masturbate to her, you would. But she wasn't there. She was with a broken wrist where she could have still participated. She could have still participated with a broken wrist from what I understand. She could have had her hand in a cast. She should have came back unless there was something else going on, which I don't know. You guys can tell me below. But this entire situation seems so convoluted. And then the match itself between Rusev and Ryback. This is all about Lana. Lana getting hurt and getting sympathy, so everyone will want to care more about Lana than Ryback or Rusev, particularly over Ryback. Ryback is getting such a huge pop with "Feed me more," with all the veins coming out of his neck and all that mess. People love Ryback, but why would you stick him in a situation where a woman, not against women, but another character, a female character, is now going to be taking precedence over a guy who has such strong momentum? People want to cheer for him. And now you're letting Lana have that. Or worse yet, Rusev. Rusev has done nothing for months. Months. And Ryback's like here. Lana's here because she's been away for a while, even though she's very strong. Rusev is here. The only reason I'm saying that is because Rusev simply has been on TV more than she has since she was gone for those months when she had broken supposedly a wrist. So now you're taking a woman or character here and trying to elevate it over the guy who really needs to be here where everyone else is supposed to be there. It's stupid. I'm sorry. It just is. Here's another stupid thing. The Dudleys. They have so badly mismanaged the Dudleys. They could have done something wonderful with the tag belts, but they decided not to let them have it. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad New Day has the titles. But honestly, we needed something new in the tag division. New Day will not die without the titles. They're that entertaining. You could have given the titles to the Dudleys and shook up the entire roster for the tag division. But we haven't done that. So all of a sudden now, the Dudleys are now dealing with the Wyatts. Really? I can understand what Bubba Ray said. You're trying to make a name for yourself. You did it on me. Fine. You kicked my ass. Come deal with me. Come on. I'm a New Yorker. We take shit. Essentially like that. But here's the problem I have. It's not the match. And it's not the beatdown before the match. It's the fact that this, if you do this right, could be a good TLC match. But you're now going to start throwing it on Raw and SmackDown and probably Raw again. And instead of leaving them alone, because when it comes down to it, what the match did was not 100% bad. I know you're not happy about it, guys, but the match wasn't 100% bad because essentially the fight broke out, unless I'm remembering wrong, which I probably am, and no one won that match. It should have been just a straight brawl by my perspective. They should have just had the beginning of the match and then just brawled and it was over. Neither side got the edge. It would have been better that way than seeing the Dudleys knocked down and got their asses kicked and then Bray Wyatt being thrown through a table. Why do you care about TLC now? And particularly the WWE is going to be throwing this now on Raw. I know they're going to throw it on SmackDown again with Tommy Dreamer there. Mind you, it was nice to see Tommy on Raw. It was Philadelphia. They were going to do this. But really, if Tommy's going to be doing a couple of shows and maybe do the pay-per-view, why not build up to this? You got maybe 2 more weeks left before TLC. Maybe 2.5 or 3. I can't remember what it is. I think it's 2 weeks. You could have done something better with this. It was better that they just have a small, short match that beat the crap out of each other. Neither one got the edge. And worse yet, no other matches. Let's build up to this. But we didn't get it, and this is what we got. ADR versus Goldust. I remember seeing Goldust years ago, and I thought, what the hell? Is he a guy? Is he a girl? But then I saw he took off the wig, but he was with the most gorgeous looking woman who was smoking a freaking cigar. And I'm going like, I'm confused. There's a guy who feels like he's a girl, but he's a guy, and he's a damn good wrestler. He's with the most gorgeous looking woman with the biggest boobs you can see that's smoking a freaking cigar. Right? That's the way I felt at the time. And it's kind of sad to see that he lost to ADR. It's understandable you have to do something with ADR. But here's the thing. ADR left WWE because of prejudice and racism. That's the truth. He comes back, and now they throw him in with Zed Coulter doing this Mex America thing, kind of making up for what they did, saying, look, we care about Mexicans. We're sorry what we did. We're going to team you up with a guy who supposedly would be considered a bad guy so you can try and get the cred back. But then we're going to throw you with Jack Swagger where you're going to have to job to him eventually, or you're going to beat the crap out of him eventually. ADR before he left, before things were bad, was like here, mid-card. He wasn't that good. Left, came back, he won the title from John Cena in one night, which jumped him up here. But now he's like gone down a little bit. He's like almost near the same spot he was when he was about to leave. It's not really good. But this is the storyline we have. And I did say that the question was going to be not about Zed Coulter, not about ADR. It was going to be about Jack Swagger. Can he carry this? And we the people still like it. No matter if you guys hate Jack Swagger, and I'm not a big fan of the trucker. I called him the trucker for a reason. He looks like he's a trucker who drives down I-95 with long beard, long hair, and he's got a partner like Zed saying, Zed, I'm bored. Get to work. I'm not saying all truckers are like that. I'm just joking. It could be a girl if you want to be like that. But you get my point. The point is, even if you don't like him, he is over. People like we the people. They do. So in the end, if he can hold together long enough and Zed comes back to him, people will be very interested. But the question is going to be, what would they do with him if he does win the U.S. Championship? Or if he doesn't? Going through all this will be kind of pointless because they're actually devoting some time to this. Okay. Let's get this over with. Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Breeze. Simply put, Dolph wins. We're still looking at Dolph's replacement if he leaves. I'm telling the truth. Tyler Breeze is a in the wings Dolph Ziggler. They both are basically the same. It's not that they have they do almost have the exact same mood sets. But the point is, if Dolph leaves or gets hurt, Tyler Breeze can take his position easily. And he already has the girl, so basically he's in the same spot as Dolph Ziggler's always been. Whenever he starts to get somewhere, they pair him with a woman. And then he goes nowhere. Next. I gotta do this. Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. Really? You're now going to turn Paige from a heel to a face like that. You're going to turn Charlotte from a heel to a face to a heel. And Becky is going to have to choose between who is the heel and who is the face. Really? This really didn't feel very good. This felt so sloppy. They're trying to get away with what happened to Charlotte Flair's brother. They really are. They're going in a completely different direction and it just feels very weak. And I feel sorry for Charlotte. I don't really feel sorry for Becky because she's getting time. She's had no time. So this is what she's getting. And Paige, now she just flipped from face in the last 4 months to heel. Now supposedly she's flipping back to face again. Even though she's still a heel. Really? Now it's time to talk about the thing that upsets me the most. This is before the match between the League of Nations and the Usos and everybody. This is the thing that upsets me. And if you guys know me, you know how I feel. Sasha Banks versus Brie Bella. It was Naomi's birthday. She's 28 now. I believe she's 28. Instead of giving her a match, where she could win, instead of letting her be more tough, because she's acting very perky and jumping around like she has no head on her shoulders. I mean, this is part of Trinity Fatu's actual personality. She's a very bubbly, sweet person. And I'm not against her. I really do care about the lady. I want to see her succeed as a wrestler, and I want to see her succeed with her husband, Jonathan. But this was her birthday. And instead of giving her a special moment on her freaking birthday, it's Sasha Banks versus Brie. And Sasha didn't get anything out of this because she had to have help from Tamina and Naomi. She still could not win a freaking match by herself. Then Naomi didn't get anything out of it because she had to be an extra so Sasha could win. And then Tamina, even though she kicked the hell out of Alicia Fox, didn't get a damn thing either. This is the first time I've seen Team B.A.D in weeks on Raw. Weeks. And this is what I get. I am very upset about this. I feel sorry for Tamina because she has the potential to... She should have been a champion a while ago. She earned it and deserved it. I don't care what anybody says. This woman's been around long enough that she deserves it. She's Superfly's daughter. And anyone else and their mother has gotten that damn title. She should have got it already. Naomi, who should have already held the title more than once already, has done absolute nothing, and it was her freaking birthday. And Sasha Banks, the youngest of the bunch, who is being sponsored, who everybody wants to hear and see Sasha, is forced to actually have matches where she has to have help. When it's obvious amongst all three of them, she's technically the best wrestler. Tamina's the third because she's more muscular. She's a tougher woman. And Naomi is a high flyer who does good groundwork, but Sasha's technically the best wrestler there. I will not lie about it. But even she's getting fucked over. Sorry, I had to do that. Now, last but not least, the League of Nations with Sheamus versus Usos, Dean, and Roman Reigns. The League of Nations won. And I gotta say this about the League of Nations. They couldn't have come up with a better name. A little history bit here for you ladies and gentlemen. The League of Nations had existed since around the 1800s. About 1890, 1880, just the turn of the 20th century. It was around during World War I. It was around during World War II. And then it was totally disbanded because they didn't do a freaking thing right. They got their asses hammered by Hitler. And pretty much, if I can remember his name, oh my goodness, I can't believe I've forgotten the fascist guy. Mussolini, sorry. You couldn't have come up with a better name. It had to be League of Nations. An organization that lasted from the beginning of the 20th century till maybe near the mid, and they didn't do a damn thing. I got a headache. I'm glad Alberto's getting time. I'm glad Rusev is getting time. I'm glad Bad News Barrett is getting time. But this is a stupid concept. And then you got Sheamus. Excuse me. You got Sheamus. This is ridiculous. It wasn't good ridiculous, just ridiculous. And still, Roman Reigns still gets his match at TLC. I'm sure Dean Ambrose is still going to get his match. And then the Usos are still going to get their match. So this entire situation didn't need to happen. Unless I'm wrong, but you guys tell me below. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. You will be seeing my third installment of my how to book TNA going in 2016. And this will be if I'm not mistaken, the tag division. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I've been trying to build up a good thing, and hell, I'm going to say this right now. I'm actually working on a new show, and maybe during mid-December I'll release it, but right now I'm still trying to work out what it is and what I want to say about it. But you guys have a good day and have a good night. Peace!